Hi everyone, welcome back. We are still in Module 2, Topic 1, Lesson 3, Talk the Talk on page 208. So final thing in this lesson, make a choice. It says use a drawing, tape diagram, or double number line to answer each question. Show all of your work and explain why you chose your strategy. A t-shirt store keeps 7 white t-shirts on the shelves for every 3 purple t-shirts on the shelves. How many white t-shirts are on the shelves if there are 15 purple t-shirts on the shelves? Okay, so I do want you to pause and try to figure this out on your own before you just copy down what I write. Please do that. Okay, so I'm going to draw a little tape diagram first, I believe. I'm going to do this a couple of ways, but so it tells me that a t-shirt store keeps 7 white shirts for every 3 purple. Okay, so there's 7 of the white shirt. So if this represents 7 of the white, each one of these boxes will be 7 white. And then I would have obviously a smaller box that represents 3 purple. Okay, so every time I have that, it's 7 white, 3 purple. So it wants to know how many white t-shirts are on the shelves if there's 15 purple. So how many times would I have to repeat this to get 15 of the purple? Right, I would have to do 5. So you can do it a couple of ways. And with these tape diagrams, it's really kind of up to you how you want to draw it. I'm going to do it this way because I think a lot of you will see it better this way. And then I'll draw it the way that you're likely to see it on Mathia. Okay, and so 3, 6, 9, 12. So I would need one more. So 15, because each of these is worth 3. So there's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and each of these is worth 7. So 7, 14, 21, 28, and 35. I'm just counting up by 7s. So if there's 15 purple, how many white are there? 35. So we know there's 35 white t-shirts. Okay, another way that you might see it, I'll switch to a different color, is you might see kind of the 7 drawn like that still, and the 3 like this, but then the additional 3 might all just be put side by side here. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. You may also see it like this, where each of these just has the number 3. Each of them just has a 3 here. I'm counting up the additional 3 here. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. And then the 7, you would need 5 of those. Oh, I'm going to run into that other one. So 1, 2, 3. I don't like how I did that. 4, 5. We're just going to pretend those are even. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. I put this one too close. And then for these 7 here, this group of 7, there's 5 groups of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 should be about there. Okay, so you might see it like that. I don't care which way you draw it. You don't have to draw them all. Pick one way. Pick one way to draw. Okay. All right. And then one final way that I'm going to show you with this one is just writing it out with a ratio. So for every 7 white shirts, there's 3 purple. And it's telling us that if there's 15 purple. So how do you go from 3 to 15? Remember, we're using multiplicative reasoning. We're going up, upscaling. So 3 times 5. So 7 times 5 still gives us 35. So a couple of different ways to show it. It doesn't matter to me which way you do. Some of our brains work better with drawings like this. Some like the drawings like this. Some like where it's the 7s and all of them, the 3s and all of them. And some of us prefer this. Okay. I personally prefer this most of the time. Sometimes I like the picture too, though. All right, letter B. How many purple t-shirts are on the shelves if there are 49 white t-shirts? So let's see, if there's 49 white t-shirts, here we went up to 35. So if I add another, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, how many more would I have to have 49 white? Right, 7 times 7. So there'd have to be 7 groups of these. So if I had the tape diagram, 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49. And then, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 groups. So for the 3s, I'm going to need 7 groups of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I didn't want to count it like that. Oh, I'm silly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm sorry. I meant to do this. 3, 6, 9, 12. I better change that to a different color. 15, 18, 21. Say I went through and was just putting 3s in there, which is okay too. I would just have to multiply it at the end. So if there's 49 white, there should be 21 purple. Using the ratio, so 49 white. Wait, so we know there's 7 white for every 3 purple. And they're saying 49 white. How many purple? How do you go from 7 to 49? Times 7, so 3 times 7, 21. Same thing. This next one's kind of interesting. It says how many white shirts are on the shelves if there are 40 total shirts. 40 total. So if you just glance back up here at our original picture, this group right here shows how many shirts total. Right, there's 10. There's 10 total there. So how many groups would I need to have 40 total groups? There's another 10. There's 30. So there would be 4 of those groups. So with that, it says how many are white. So our white is 7, 14, 21, 28. It should be 28. Let's set it up with a proportion. So we know 7 white for every 10 total. There are 7 white every time there's a total of 10. That implies that there's 3 of the purple. And now we want to know if there's 40 total, how many are white? So how do you go from 10 to 40? Times 4. Didn't we have 4 of these groups up here? We did. So times 4 gives us the same 28. Okay, excellent. All right, moving on. A grocery store advertises 4 pounds of apples for $6. What is the cost for 1 pound of apples? So if you remember from the last test, cost per pound. Before we had cost per ounce, now we're doing cost per pound. So it's always cost per whatever, unit, ounce, milliliter, whatever their unit is here. So we have $6 for 4 pounds. And it wants us to tell the amount for 1 pound. So how do you go from 4 to 1? This time we're scaling down. We are dividing by 4. So what is 6 divided by 4? Which, by the way, is literally what that says. That says 6 divided by 4. So when you take a number and you divide it by its denominator, so numerator divided by the denominator is going to get you a per one. It's called a unit rate, and we're going to get to that in another section. So $6 divided by 4. So let me, and some of you may be able to think this through in your head. So if there's $6 for 4, $6 for 4, $3 would get you, that's half of it, so that would get you 2. And then half of the 2 is 1, so half of 3 is $1.50. So it should be $1.50 per 1 pound. I want to show you this with the actual division. So 6 divided by 4. Okay, so how many 4s can you get out of 6? Just 1. 1 times 4 is 4. Subtract, I get a 2. This 6 actually has a decimal point after it, and I know I can add a 0 after without changing the value. Put the decimal point up in my quotient, bring down my 0. How many 4s can I get out of 20? 5, which gives me 20. 5 times 4 is 20, subtract, and I get 0. So 1.5. Now remember, this is a cost, so we actually need to think about it in terms of money. So it is $1.50 per pound. So then it says, what is the cost for 3 pounds of apples? Well, we know the cost for 1 pound now. So we know it's $1.50 for 1 pound. And now it wants to know how much for 3 pounds. Well, how do I go from 1 to 3? Right, times 3. So then we have $1.50, also times 3, which gives you, and again, if you don't know, it's okay, just work it out. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 5 is 15. Carry a 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. It's 2 numbers after the decimal, none, so a total of 2. So $4.50. Okay. And then the last one here, how many pounds of apples can you purchase with $37.50? So let's go back to our $1.50 per 1 pound. Remember, LB is the abbreviation for pound. And now it's giving us $37.50. And we need to figure out how many pounds. Well, how do you go from 150 to 37.50? What do you need to multiply by? Well, if you don't know, we can turn it around to a division, right? Like right here, if we didn't know what we had to multiply 10 by to get to 40, we could have done 40 divided by 10 and got the 4. So we can do 37.50 divided by 150. 37.50 divided by $1.50. Okay, so we need to move the decimal point over 2 and over 2 here, and it goes straight up in the answer. Okay, so now how many groups of 150 can we get out of 375? Right, and maybe you might need me to rewrite that. Because it really looks like that. Right, so there's 2, which gives us 300. Subtract, I have 75 left. I bring down the 0. How many groups out of 150 out of 750? 5, which gives me 750. I subtract and get 0. So I can get 25 pounds of bananas for $37.50. Okay, I do like this. I think we might do this in class. Circle the question that your teacher has asked you to present to the class. Write at least 3 sentences to tell your classmates how you completed the work. Okay. If you have any questions, please, guys, let me know.